The moment that word got out that a new Nintendo home console was on the way and would be revealed at E3 2011, a few people decided for themselves, based on absolutely nothing, that this new system's graphics are just going to be absolutely laughable. The system's still going to be underpowered, even if it is more powerful than the Wii. Good graphics on a Nintendo system, great graphics on a Nintendo system, laughable notion, impossible. What planet are you living on? Good graphics on Nintendo. But then Nintendo went and gave them the bird at E3 in the form of the Japanese Garden Wii U demo. And I mean that literally. And when that demo came out, and still to this day, the people who decided for themselves that Wii U was going to have crappy graphics, they just don't know what to do with themselves. There's not even a consensus amongst them how to react to this. Some of them, they're just, some of them saying, oh, well, that's just a full motion video. That's just a pre-rendered cutscene. That's not really running on Wii U. That's not really running in real time. Wii U can't possibly have those graphics. And then, wouldn't you know it, that demo was running in real time, interactive, on the show floor at E3 2011, and running both on the HD television and on the controller at the same time. And then others saying, "Oh, well, those graphics suck. That's not impressive. Those are crappy graphics. Nintendo always has crappy graphics, and this Japanese Bird Garden demo proves that Nintendo Wii U has crappy graphics." Are you kidding me? Really? You think those graphics suck? I mean, if these people were to be shown this demo of the Wii U's graphics in prototype form, if you were to be shown this demo, which is now known to be running on Unreal technology, if you were to be shown this demo without any context that this was running on a Nintendo console, not to be told this had anything to do with Nintendo, how many of these people saying this demo looks bad, how many of them do you think would even have it in their head to try to construe these as bad graphics, as proof that this console has pathetic horsepower, that it's underpowered and has crappy visuals? The notion that the visuals shown in the E3 2011 tech demo are bad, or proof that this system has bad graphics. If this was any system or company other than Nintendo, that notion wouldn't even begin to be entertained. That notion would be absolutely laughable if it were any company other than Nintendo. But it's on Nintendo, so it has to have bad graphics. Now, I want you to take a look at this video of the demo that was shown in E3 2011. And keep in mind, this was in prototype form. So, subsequent versions of the Wii U dev kits that have gone out have been stated by developers to have shown improvements over what they have been working with around the time this demo was made, better frame rates and the like. And keep in mind that this video, isn't even running in full 1080p true high definition. This is just a YouTube video running on your monitor, which may or may not even be able to show proper high definition. You keep all that in mind, that this is just a YouTube video. And look at about 30 seconds into this video, 37 seconds, exactly 37 seconds in. And look at the bird standing on that branch. And look at the bird's foot. In that 3-second sequence of the bird, from 37 seconds on, between the bird, before the bird flies off, notice how the claw on the bird's foot casts a distinct and separate shadow from the rest of the bird's toe. And notice how as the bird shifts its weight, and the bird's toe shifts slightly, that the claw on the bird's foot shifts slightly, and the shadow on the claw actually moves in real time, separate from the rest of the shadow. I mean, that level of detail. If I didn't point that out to you, would you have even taken note of that? I mean, we've gotten to the point where the claw on the bird's foot is a distinct and separate object from the rest of the bird's foot and the branch that it's standing on, and that the bird's claw casts a distinct and separate shadow from the rest of its foot in real time that actually shifts. The shadow on the claw actually shifts as the weight on the bird's foot shifts. how is that proof that Wii U has pathetic graphics? I mean, just in its own right, that's pretty freaking awesome, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just insane, but when it gets when in no reasonable realm of expectation are these graphics indicative of a underpowered system with poor visuals. And keep in mind, this demo was running in real time, that it was interactive at E3, that it was running in real time, running two separate points of view, both on the HD television set and on the Wii U's tablet controller. And that's in prototype form of something that was made about a year ago as of early March 2011. And you're really going to tell me that that Wii U is going to have bad graphics? Now, Wii U is not probably going to be the most powerful system out there, but low-end specs, the low-end speculated, rumored specs for the Xbox 720, the same sources that have been used to paint Wii U as underpowered by the critics, are placing the Xbox 720's GPU as being only 20% greater than that of the Wii U's in terms of graphics yield. Now, that's well within the range of what I'd consider comparable. That indicates to me a graphics comparison potentially similar to what we saw between the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, where the PlayStation 3 was clearly, more powerful than the 360, but it wasn't to the point where the PS3's graphics were just so much better that alone was the deciding factor, rather than other features like the online capabilities and the online system and the game selection. And you think that Nintendo's system being on par with Xbox in terms of visuals is just a completely outrageous concept? Remember the sixth generation? It wasn't that long ago, where GameCube had an edge over the PlayStation 2 and was comparable to the Xbox, to most Xbox games. Only a handful of, like Chronicles of Riddick, that game really pushed the Xbox's potential. It looked nearly as good as an early 360 game. And the GameCube was, the Xbox did not blow the GameCube out the water in terms of horsepower. It was all about the game selection and features like online capabilities. So if you want to say that, if you still just have to cling to the notion that Wii U is just going to be this massively underpowered weakling system, barely up to the standards of systems that launched in 2005 and 2006, when developers working with Wii U, even developers working with Wii U, both back at E3 and certainly now, have said repeatedly that Wii U is significantly more powerful than the HD systems of the 7th generation, then you go ahead and keep thinking that. And E3 is coming soon enough, and when all the cards are laid on the table, I think the comparison in terms of not only sheer horsepower, but in terms of everything these 8th gen systems have to offer, will, when that time comes, the comparison between what the 8th gen systems have to offer may not be what you think it is, just a repeat of the 7th generation where Nintendo's going to have a deliberately underpowered low performance system, and Microsoft's and Sony systems are just going to totally blow it out the water in terms of horsepower. I have an interesting quote, actually, speaking of what we could expect from PlayStation 4's power. This quote is from Sony Computer Entertainment of America Vice President James Armstrong, who said, around the time of E3 2011, "It's hard to say right now. I don't think we'll have a console with a lot better graphics than the PlayStation 3 currently offered." I will repeat that. From Sony Computer Entertainment of Europe Vice President James Armstrong, saying of PlayStation 4, "I do not think we'll have a console with a lot better graphics than the PlayStation 4 currently offered." Alright? That's coming from Sony themselves. And I'm not saying that PlayStation 4 is going to have crappy graphics. I'm not saying that the Xbox 720 is going to have crappy graphics. I'm not saying that Wii U is going to be the most powerful home console of the 8th generation. But I am saying that Wii U will certainly hold its own in terms of graphics yield. And if you owned an Xbox 360 in the 7th generation, if you owned and played a 360 in the 7th generation and enjoyed it, and if you owned a PlayStation 2 in the 6th generation and enjoyed that, then there's absolutely no reason to believe that Wii U is going to be intrinsically inferior to the competition in the 8th generation based on the fact that it may not end up being the most powerful console of the 8th generation. Because in the 6th generation, was PlayStation 2 the most powerful? No. In the 7th generation, was Xbox 360 the most powerful? No. And if you owned and played either of those systems, you proved that it's not that Wii U is not going to be a bad system or an unenjoyable system or perhaps even a system that won't appeal to your taste based on its horsepower alone if it ends up, not being as powerful as the competition. So it's just fun making these videos about the Wii U's graphics because really it's like at this point you haven't shown anything. It's like just based on just rationally, this argument that Wii U just has bad graphics, it just does not hold up. And that's before we've seen the full capabilities, as we will at E3 2012. That's before we've seen what Microsoft has to show for Xbox 720, which we may not see that for quite a while. So that's the end of yet another video about Wii U's graphics. And it won't be the last, because I mean, I know I'm sort of arguing these same points, but I'm having fun doing it. And I make videos to have fun, and I'm having fun making these videos. So you keep saying silly things about Wii U's graphics, and I'll just keep making videos, having fun, explaining why that's just rubbish. So thanks for watching.